filed a motion. He did a motion to appear, which is he's appearing on behalf of Drake, and essentially then said, yo, we want to challenge this subpoena because there's a subpoena that exists for Drake to show up, right? However, Drake really don't live in Florida, right? But still, Drake is in Florida a lot, and also, you know, probably just on a PR level, because since TMZ and everybody picked it up, it's important that Drake handles this appropriately rather than being seen like he's running from this, right? So he sent his lawyer. His lawyer went in court, and let me put this right here. Sorry, chat. His lawyer went in court and basically filed a motion to show cause, basically, which means the defense attorney who's trying to make Drake a witness of the defense needs to show proper cause to the court why the subpoena should even be issued. Again, this is probably going to be a conversation in itself, but actually I don't even know if there was a ruling today, but we could probably skim through it. So essentially, the lawyer for one of these like fucking idiots who killed X is going to say, oh, our theory is that Drake killed X. And he's going to prove, yo, first of all, number one, Drake doesn't have to show up because you guys didn't serve him properly. Second of all, let's talk about Drake. What proof do you have that Drake did anything or connected to any of these guys? And that's what they're going to do. So let me play a little bit of it. I'm going to skip through it a lot because I do not want you guys to fucking, you know, get bored. You know, let's keep it going. And by the way, officially, happy Valentine's Day, right?
Order itself, Judge, doesn't give any reference to what the penalties would be if Mr. Graham failed to show for that deposition. I don't even think we need to get there. I think that the affidavits attached to the motion are insufficient. I don't believe that an order to show cause is appropriate given the lack of foundation in the petition. There's not only missing pages, but the things that are attached to it, the affidavits that were filed, were insufficient to warrant an order to show cause. So I don't think we need to get to the point where I would argue that even the service itself didn't go down the way that it was stated that it went down. I don't think we need to get into an evidentiary issue at this point, because I don't think the affidavits rise to the level of an order to show cause. And then if an affidavit if a subpoena for deposition is going to be reissued, then upon that reissuance and that possible service, then we would have an argument as to the harassing nature of it. Because at this point, I think you have a cooperating witness that corroborates that Mr. Graham has nothing to do with this case. Mr. Graham is...
Yeah, so that's the crux of the matter, right? So they're trying to, you know, they're using a alternate, I forgot what the defense is called, but it's basically like alternate theory defense to basically say, hey, listen, we have a theory of why or how he died or who was responsible for it. Y'all didn't charge the right guy. So by us showing that it's more likely that somebody else did it, you have to let our client go, right? So it's like, yo, if I'm locked up for something and my lawyer says, yo, there's a 10 times more likely chance that somebody else did it than Akademiks, why the hell would you convict Akademiks? You guys must free him because, number one, you got to operate beyond a reasonable doubt, and it is pointing to the fact that someone else did it, right? So that's what this kooky attorney is trying to do, saying, yo, somebody else did it, which is Drake, and his client didn't do it, right? However, this is Drake's attorney who at least just represented him on this appearance to squash the subpoena, basically saying, yo, dog, check this out, bro. Check this out. We are not going to, we're not going to sit here and allow this thing to happen without you thinking about what's going on in court. You have a snitch. The snitch says he doesn't know Drake. So how could Drake pay these guys or pay anybody associated with this shit to do anything when Drake, the snitch says he never knows Drake? Here we go.
It's not listed in any report. Mr. Graham, I don't believe has been discussed whatsoever in this case to my knowledge, other than rumor and innuendo. And I believe that if I was hired earlier, I would have probably filed a motion to quash that deposition itself. Because like I said, there needs to be some good faith showing. At least, his phone was in the area. He was in the state of Florida at the time. There's some sort of communication. There's something. And there is absolutely no evidence whatsoever other than rumor and innuendo. And the problem is that someone could come take the stand and say, Elvis made me do it. You can't go then take Elvis's depo. Well, you can't anyways, but I'm just giving you an example. That doesn't rise to the level of now I get to take someone's depo because this individual said,
So to kind of give you a little bit more, context to this, right? So this is a criminal case, right? In a criminal case, the judge has a lot of authority, but he has a lot of authority in Florida. Now, when someone is a resident of Florida, he could put out a subpoena for Drake, but it won't do anything. Say if Drake lives in California, which Drake does, like he has a house in California and other places, right? They were trying to serve the California residents. Now, here's the thing. He can't lock Drake up in California, right? But if Drake comes to Florida, he could put out a warrant and Drake could get locked up, right? Now, obviously, the judge has to use discretion because potentially a defense attorney could literally say anybody. It could be like, Donald Trump told me to do it. You think they're going to put out a warrant for Donald Trump? So usually they're like, listen, you got to give us enough proof to make us feel like he's going to be a witness and somebody who would be credible and necessary to this case, that we would put a pressure on that person to show up and participate in this trial. That's what a subpoena is, right? This guy's been showing, Drake said, Drake rapped these lines. X said, if anything happened to me, it's Drake. So that's what the guy's been saying. So the judge said, all right, cool. That sounds like enough. Get Drake in here. Drake don't live in Florida though, right? Okay, bet. So now it's getting to a point where, I know TMZ said Drake is going to be giving a deposition. Drake ain't giving shit. I'm telling you this now. It's getting to a point where now Drake, where this judge is going to have to approve a correspondence to the state of California asking them to basically force Drake. Again, this is not federal court. This is state court, right? So again, and this is a witness. This ain't a guy who's charged with a crime. So they would have to petition California, and California would have to look at it and say, you know what, y'all are right. We're going to force Drake, whether by locking him up or sending a subpoena from us that he has to go, right? And if he doesn't go, we could grab him and